Hello and welcome into the broadcast, everybody. And on this Saturday afternoon, after a season full of great moments in the 2021 MLS season, it all culminates with the 2021 MLS Cup. And no better place to have that game than at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon, Soccer City, as they call themselves. And that's where today's matchup takes place. The Portland Timbers hosting New York City FC. It is a packed house and some at Providence Park. The fans are jumping. The ticket prices through the roof for this one, but every fan in attendance, including some New York City FC fans, would pay whatever it took to get inside Providence Park to witness this MLS Cup 2021. Giovanni Savarese leading the Portland Timbers for his fourth season, and what a season it's been for him. And he counters New York City FC's head coach in Ronny Deila. Deila, the Norwegian, has really got what he wanted from this team in the latter stages of the season. And they brought some good run of form, I should say, from the end of the regular season into the start of the playoffs. And my goodness, New York City FC, 2 away wins so far in the postseason, trying to make it a third today and claim their franchise's first MLS Cup. And it's their first appearance in the prestigious event as well. Both teams just about ready to go. And as I said, it is a great atmosphere in Portland, and it really wouldn't be a final in Portland if the weather wasn't what it is, and that is a rainy day. The rain pouring down in Portland. That's very typical, really, at this time of year in the northwest part of the country. It'll be a 12:35 local time kickoff, and as I also touched on, the New York City FC fans have traveled in force. I went to the Revolution New York City game at Gillette Stadium, home of the Revolution, and New York City FC had a real good number of fans for that one. And that's no different today. But this a whole nother story, as those fans had to make the cross-country trip, but they certainly are dedicated. Armando Villarreal is the referee this afternoon. Frank Anderson and Oscar Mitchell Carvalho are the assistant referees. Fotis Bazakos, the fourth official. Jeremy Hansen is the fifth official. Yes, there is a fifth official for MLS Cup. And I couldn't quite get to the guys working in the VAR room today. But, of course, VAR is in effect. What's good? We got Hugo tuning in. That's wonderful to see. Thank you, everyone who's filing in here for the main event of the 2021 MLS season. Who will raise that prestigious trophy in about 2 hours' time? We shall see. It should be a good one. In fact, it's actually the fourth seed from each conference taking each other on, I should say, this afternoon. And I don't know. I feel like we're in for a treat. I do. I don't see this being a boring game whatsoever. I think it'll be entertaining from the start. Hopefully my prediction is right. You're rooting for Portland, Hugo. All right, very good. Yeah, I'm pulling for the Timbers too. Since, New York City FC knocked out my Revolution, I can't really pull for them in this one. I can't. And as a Boston sports fan, I don't really like any New York teams. All right, we're ready to kick off from a rainy Portland, Oregon. Providence Park, the location, and we're underway as Portland attack from right to left and kick off. New York City going from left to right. The Timbers in all green. New York City, meanwhile, in their light blue kits for this one. New York City FC right off the bat, maybe with a chance. It's a dangerous ball at the edge of the area. One-time strike settled by Steve Clark as the chance fell for Maxi Morales. And Steve Clark actually made a horrific mistake about a minute into MLS Cup in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, against Portland when he was the goalkeeper for the Columbus Crew. He's trying to put those memories away for good and try to win MLS Cup here on his second try with the Timbers team that he made a mistake against about 6 years ago. And he really has found a good home in Portland. Has been a real important part of this team as well, and a big reason why they've made it this far in the postseason. Timbers trying to switch the point of attack, but sails over the head of Claudio Bravo. It is windy as well, but this stadium was built in a way where field level is actually 40 feet below ground level. They built it from the top to bottom, kind of like the Coliseum in Los Angeles. So the wind is for the most part blocked out because the field is so low in comparison, to the streets around it. But it could still be a minor factor, but not as big of a factor as it would be in other stadiums across the country with the same type of weather. What's good, Mike? Welcome into the stream. Glad to see you here as the MLS Cup is just underway. That's out for a Timbers throw-in. And it will be Bravo to take it. Pass into the middle, turned over by Sebastian Blanco. Mabiala dispossessed by Alfredo Morales. Yeah, Diego Valeri got injured, Hugo. Yeah, Valeri got injured. So that's why you haven't been hearing about him. Yeah, these playoffs so far. Sebastian Blanco, another key player for Portland, was injured, but he is back in the starting lineup, which is huge for this Portland team. Valentin Castellanos on the New York City side also returns to the fold after he was suspended for the Eastern Conference Final due to a red card against New England. Here's Jimmy Chara for the Timbers. Chara pulled from behind, and the referee awards a free kick to the home side. Portland Timbers have such a passionate fan base, and although they have been to MLS Cup before, this is the first one they host. Portland have 33 wins, 1 loss, just 5 ties since 2018 at home when scoring first under Giovanni Savarese. So that first goal just so important as Blanco takes it to the edge of the box, but Thorarensen stole it. And let me just quickly go over the starting lineup. Portland with Steve Clark in goal, as mentioned. Jose Van Rankin and Claudio Bravo, the outside backs. Luis Mabiala and Dario Zuparic, the center backs. Diego Chara and George Fauchive are the holding mids. Fauchive coming in for the injured Christian Paredes. That could be a notable absence, Paredes, who has been very good this postseason so far. Sebastian Blanco, Jimmy Chara, and Dairon Asprilla making up the rest of the Portland midfield, and then Felipe Mora up top for the Timbers. For NYCFC, Sean Johnson in goal. The Icelandic international, Gudmundur Thorarensen and Tavon Gray are the outside backs. Alexander Callens and Maxime Chanot are the center back pairing. Alfredo Morales and James Sands, the holding mids. Santiago Rodriguez, Maxi Morales, and Jesus Medina in the midfield. And then up top, the aforementioned Valentin Castellanos, the Argentine, back from suspension and trying to prove why he's such a vital piece of this team. Maybe felt like he let the team down a bit with that red card against New England. And I'll tell you what, after that red card against the Revolution, he did not make things easy for his team the rest of that game, as the Revolution ended up tying it in New York City, just barely got the win in penalty kicks. And then against Philadelphia, New York City were trailing a goal, ended up coming back, but they weren't comfortable victories in the absence of Castellanos. So Castellanos, the leading goal scorer in MLS this season, and New York City grateful to have him back in the lineup. It's a poor pass out wide for Tavon Gray. Portland will get a throw in here. 6 minutes played at Providence Park. We're just getting started in the 2021 MLS Cup. Claudio Bravo to take the throw in here for the Timbers. Bouncing ball, Asprilla can't quite control. And now a free kick is awarded. The foul against Maxi Morales. Morales clutching his right leg. Right shin, perhaps. Let's see. Oh, yeah, he got kicked right in the shin. Blatant foul in the end. And it could be a promising set piece for the Portland Timbers. Jimmy Chara, the one standing over it in the area, as well as Claudio Bravo, as New York City hold a high line. Chara going to float one in across the box, but it's headed away. Now it's with Diego Chara. He'll send it wide. It's out for a Portland throw, and good work by Asprilla on that right wing. And now New York City going to work it through the midfield as they win it back. Jesus Medina. And another foul. It's already a chippy start to this one. New York City asking for a yellow card to be shown. A foul there committed by George Fochive. It definitely could have been a card as he took down Tati Castellanos. But for now, just a warning for Fochive, who slips in for the injured Christian Paredes. Here comes the cross, headed away by Mabiala. With it in the middle is Cheno. And another poor pass from the Luxembourg international, trying to find Tavon Gray and just passed it too far in front for the outside back to track down. Claudio Bravo to take the throw-in. Ball still in the air, saved by Cheno. James Sands with the pass forward. Maxi Morales lost his footing, and that's an example of how the conditions will play a role. New York City win it back into the box. It's cut across, and the shot just wide. It fell quite nicely for Maxi Morales, but he couldn't put it on target. A scary moment there for the Portland Timbers as it was turned over a bit carelessly by Fochive. And you just can't afford to give the ball away in that type of vulnerable position. And Alfredo Morales sent the cross into Maxi Morales. It did take a deflection, though, and maybe that's why it ended up going wide of the goal, because a corner kick has been awarded to NYCFC. It's a driven ball towards the near post. Out of play for another corner. 10th minute of play, and it's still 0-0. New York City goes short this time as the rain doesn't really let up. And this ball will go all the way through the penalty area. NYCFC claiming it took a deflection on the way, but a goal kick's awarded. It's a bright start, though, from the Eastern Conference representatives. Steve Clark taking the goal kick. Header by Dairon Asprilla. And now New York City with it. However, they immediately give it away. Bit of a sloppy start from both sides when it comes to combining through the middle of the park. The return pass by Jesus Medina. Oh, that's a nice ball. Played into Tavon Gray. Gray at the edge of the box. Tripped up. And now going down is Maxi Morales. No foul. That ball will go out for a goal kick. Well, that's better combination by New York City FC. 12th minute of action. Portland with a goal kick. Timbers really haven't settled in just yet. Leaping header won by Asprilla. That's a risky back pass to Steve Clark, but he comes to the edge of his box to clear, and Asprilla drawing the foul. Free kick is going to be lifted down the left wing, but unable to get there is Sebastian Blanco. Blanco, the leader of this Portland team. Goal kick on the way. Alexander Callens of Peru. And now back to Chano. James Sands. This ball, going to be lifted into the box. And now Asprilla looking to clear. Sent high into the air. Heavy collision. Down went Sebastian Blanco for Portland. This is James Sands in the middle. Sending it out wide is Alfredo Morales. Just about 14 minutes in from Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. It's a late challenge. It could be a yellow. George Fochive committing his second foul already. But it looks like no card will be given just yet. New York City FC clearly pleading their case. The referee saying that's two, no more. I'm sure another foul will result in a yellow card being shown to George Fochive. No, Hugo. No, New York City were the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, so right around the middle when it came to, well, obviously 7 teams from each conference make the playoffs. So yeah, they were the 4th seed. Here's Van Rankin. Quarter hour in, no score. This is Zuparic. Zuparic, long ball forward, chasing onto it is Felipe Mora. And Johnson out of his box to blast it out of play. Timbers quickly take the throw-in. The last seed in the Eastern Conference, Hugo, was the New York Red Bulls. Yeah, the Red Bulls were the 7th seed, so the other New York team. It's all the way back now to Steve Clark. Diego Chara sending it wide. And now it's Claudio Bravo on the ball. Bravo finding Zuparic. Back to Clark. It's a nice elevated ball played into Fochive. And now he slips into Jimmy Chara. Chara's in the box, lays it back. Here's the deflected strike from Sebastian Blanco, and ultimately New York City clear. Well, that was a real good chance for Sebastian Blanco. Portland not done. Here's the return ball to Asprilla. Asprilla into the box. Great tracking back by James Sands. And that does deflect off of Claudio Bravo. New York City awarded the throw-in. Jimmy Chara just so electric on the ball. I don't think Sebastian Blanco actually hit that ball quite well. Didn't get the strike off he was necessarily looking for. And then, of course, it took a massive deflection that prevented it from getting on goal and testing Sean Johnson. Here is Sands. Thor Aronson. The right idea here. Tavon Gray going to keep it in play. Superb effort by Gray and a dangerous cross to the penalty spot. Cleared only as far as Maxi Morales. What a cut that is by Jesus Medina. Medina going to lift it to the edge of the 6. Morales lost his footing. And this will go out for a New York throw. As Asprilla struck the chest of Gray, it appeared. Santiago Rodriguez, rather, was the one with a chance. I beg your pardon. What an effort by Tavon Gray originally to keep that ball in play down the right sideline. And a real enticing cross. Just headed out of the box by Diego Chara, but the chance wasn't quite done for NYCFC. What a start to this game. 2021 MLS Cup, 18 minutes played, no goals just yet. I have a feeling that could change rather soon. Asprilla, the leaping header. And now it's possessed by James Sands. Sands fighting Alfredo Morales. And it's settled at the edge of the box. Deflected shot from Maxi Morales. From Castellanos. Castellanos winning the header. And now New York City will reset. It comes all the way back for Maxime Chanot. Maxi Morales slips, but that's working out conveniently as it's chested down by Castellanos. Medina plays it back to Gray. Gray's low cross heads back out to Maxi Morales. And now Portland managed to clear only as far as midfield. This is Chanot. Long diagonal ball settled by Castellanos, the star for NYCFC. Oh, and that's a great steal by Felipe Mora. And Mora going down, the Chilean earns a free kick for the Timbers. It was James Sands committing the foul for New York City FC. And yeah, Sands certainly knew what he was doing right there. But the referee has stayed consistent. He's letting them play hard in a big game like this. Still no cards after 20 minutes. This ball finds Steve Clark. Now wide it comes for Claudio Bravo. An errant pass results in a New York City throw. And Maxime Chanot draws the free kick. A good NYCFC watch party taking place in the Hammerstein Ballroom in Manhattan. It's a packed house back in New York for the NYCFC fans that weren't fortunate enough to make the cross-country trip. A pass out wide by James Sands. Sands will move it into the middle. And now Maxime Chenot. Tavon Gray finds Sands. This could be a chance, but Santiago Rodriguez can't get by Jimmy Chara. Portland give it right back, but Jimmy Chara the takeaway. And this could be a counterattack opportunity. Jimmy Chara full speed ahead. The pass just off the mark as he was looking for Sebastian Blanco. And now NYCFC can calm down. A quarter through the match. 0-0 in Portland. The 2021 MLS Cup. This is won back by the Timbers. Steve Clark. Tavon Gray makes Sean Johnson work for that. And that's out for a Portland throw-in. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in this afternoon. Appreciate it as always. It'll be a throw-in for the Timbers as it's left for Claudio Bravo to take. And yeah, that rain certainly not letting up. Merritt Paulson, the owner of the Portland Timbers, of course, on hand for this one. Also the owner of the Portland Thorns in the NWSL. New York City trying to clear. The header won by Laurice Mabiala. And a flailing arm was caught by the referee. And a free kick awarded to New York. And now a bit of a scuffle afterwards as the tempers are just starting to flare a bit. Yeah, Castellanos was approaching Mabiala, and Mabiala felt that pressure arriving and just stuck his elbow out. And that's where the referee saw the foul. Mabiala pleading his case from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And now a foul against NYCFC. 25 minutes into the match. Here's a long ball forward edge of the box. Chano's header. Can't quite clear it. Asprilla, the return pass for Blanco. Blanco crossing one in. Johnson gets a hand to it. Second opportunity. The deflected strike by Felipe Mora will fall for Blanco again. And the second cross cleared out by Chano, but it will be a corner kick for the Timbers coming up. And the home crowd making plenty of noise right now. Corner's quickly taken, but New York City win it. And now they could be off to the races at the other end. Jesus Medina sending it wide. Crossed to the right side, but Rodriguez unable to control. That was won back nicely by Bravo. And Jimmy Chara will find Diego Chara. This is Blanco. Blanco trying to slip one in for Felipe Mora. Portland will keep possession here. Zuparic. Over to Bravo. And now Diego Chara. He and his brother Jimmy, both in the starting lineup for Portland, as has been the case really throughout the season. They're both from Colombia. This is Asprilla. Asprilla on his right foot, trying to take a crack at goal, but a complete mishit. And Sean Johnson didn't really have to even move. Goal kick for NYCFC. Well, you can see what it means for these Portland Timbers fans to have an MLS Cup at their home. See if the Timbers can make that crowd cheer even louder as Jimmy Chara sends a cross in. And now it'll come to Fochive. Fochive out wide. Another cross headed out of the box by New York City. Referee says that was clean from Mabiala. We'll go out for a New York City throw, as it appeared Mabiala may have fouled Castellanos. Someone in the room. Oh yeah, that was my mom, Hugo. Yeah. Sorry for the distraction. My mom had to get something from the closet, I guess, back here. Yeah. Now Zuparic. On the right side, it's Jimmy Chara. Jimmy Chara. Back with it. Now Fochive. Jimmy Chara again. It's given away. But Mabiala with a brave header. However, New York City once more with it. Oh, that's a great challenge. Claudio Bravo has had a number of those so far today. And here come Portland again. It's Blanco sending it across. The in-swinger is handled comfortably by Sean Johnson, who had it read the entire way through. About 15 minutes left now in the opening half at Providence Park. Down the right sideline, this is Tavon Gray. Gray's cross blocked. Out for an NYCFC throw. Rodriguez to Gray. Alfredo Morales went down. No foul, but NYCFC keep it. They'll switch fields. Cross from the left side. Bit of an awkward header for Bravo. It's kept in play by Maxi Morales. Morales, dangerous delivery. And trying to head it out is Bravo. He can't do so. Maxi Morales chipping one forward. Medina back for Morales. And a curling cross to the back post just beyond the reach of Castellanos. It could have easily been the opening goal of the game for NYCFC. New York City just have so many dangerous players up top. Portland will have their hands full for the rest of the afternoon, that's for certain. About 14 minutes plus stoppage time left in the opening half. Jimmy Chara, the return pass for Blanco. Here's Blanco with pace, cuts it on his right, sends one into the box, and now NYCFC clear. Going down was Jesus Medina. Free kick to New York City. This is James Sands. Sands to Maxime Chano. Now Gray. 1-2 combination. Gray can't quite get there. And instead it's Asprilla. However, Chano comes in and finds Medina. Maxi Morales back for Medina. Morales again looking for help. Gray back out wide for Maxi Morales. NYCFC very patient here in the build-up play. And at the same time, the Timbers very disciplined in their defensive shape. New York City will reset as they go all the way back to Sean Johnson. Cheno running a tight line. Finds James Sands, though. And now it's Alexander Callens. Santiago Rodriguez. Maxime Chano. Dangerous ball forward, but the flag was raised. The rain pouring down at Providence Park as we approach the 34th minute. Scoreless game so far in the 2021 MLS Cup. Header flicked on by Jimmy Chara. And now Felipe Mora. Oh, this could be a chance for Portland. Blanco into the box. Looking for support. Plays it back to Fochive. Fochive opening up the space as he goes out wide. Jimmy Chara trying to get to his brother's pass, but can't do so. Timbers back with it, though. Maxi Morales walking a bit gingerly at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that. Claudio Bravo back wide for Blanco. In swinging cross. Headed at the edge of the box. Only as far as Portland's Dario Zuparic. And now back to this ball is Zuparic. He'll find Clark. Fochive over the top. For a second, it looked like maybe Felipe Mora would be in a 1v1 situation against Johnson, but New York City's back line able to recover. And here is Rodriguez the other way. Maxi Morales finding Medina in open space. Jesus Medina had his pass deflected. It will be a New York City throw-in. 10 minutes to play in the opening 45. Alfredo Morales back to Maxime Chano. And that cross into the side netting. Steve Clark happy to let that one go. Maxi Morales still not walking entirely comfortably, I should say, as Teles Magno begins to warm up. The teenage Brazilian was the hero for NYCFC in their last match, the Eastern Conference final. Teles Magno scored off the bench as a substitute late to get the win for NYCFC over the Philadelphia Union. Here's Dairon Asprilla. Fochive still going. Fochive plays it in, and now across towards the penalty spot. Asprilla couldn't quite get there. And will this ball be kept in play? It was, but Portland won it back. Well, the intensity starting to pick up just a bit here as we enter the latter stages of the opening half. Here's Sebastian Blanco. New York City the other way. Advantage played by the official. In a foot race here between Diego Chara and Tati Castellanos. Diego Chara wins the battle. And the crowd on hand at Providence Park loving that. Here's Jimmy Chara. 38th minute of play. So be chased onto by Dairon Asprilla. But NYCFC have it. There's the switch out to this right side for Tavon Gray. Chano. Sands will elevate this one out to the left-hand side. Now played back to Maxi Morales. Morales, the return pass. This cross has a lot of weight on it. Tavon Gray back into the mix. Bouncing ball in the area. And Portland ultimately clear. Here's Sands. Maxi Morales. There's another switch. Tavon Gray settles. Sands back to Gray. Gray shielding this one. Makes the turn and committing the foul, I should say, is Claudio Bravo. Yeah, that's right, Hugo. I agree on that, man. We do need that special guest to arrive at a final. The goal. We need that opening goal soon to make things interesting. Still no goals through 40 minutes of play. Now the free kick taken by Maxi Morales. The header is a good one, and it slips by Steve Clark and into the back of the net. Tati Castellanos has put NYCFC in front in the 2021 MLS Cup. The Golden Boot winner this season strikes again. Back from suspension, Tati Castellanos delivers again for New York City FC. And this one, in the biggest of moments. And it looks like amidst the celebrations, a can was thrown and struck the face of Jesus Medina. So some ugly scenes here at Providence Park. As Medina is attended to by the medical staff. So the celebrations just dampened a bit after an ugly incident as something was thrown from the crowd. And yeah, you called it, Hugo. You called it, man. Castellanos just heading it low. And on a rainy day like this, that's all you need to do. The accuracy wasn't even on par, really. Castellanos headed that one towards the middle of the goal. And yes, Clark could have done better, but Castellanos with the low driven header just got enough on it to fool Clark. And in the rainy conditions as well, that one just slipping by the Portland keeper and into the back of the net. New York City won't care how they got that opening goal. It's just that they got it. 1-0 NYCFC as Medina is back to his feet. And let's see this incident. Oh, yeah, there's the can. And yeah, right there, it struck the face of Medina. That's an ugly sight, really. It was, I think, a beer can. And you never want to see something like that. Yeah, it did, Hugo. It hit him right in the face. They showed the replay of it. It hit him right in the face. That's disgusting behavior from whatever fan threw that. You hope that fan is pointed out and thrown out of the stadium, because you never want to see a player in danger on the field due to fan behavior, which is always possible, unfortunately, at sporting events. Well, 2 minutes left in the half, and Tati Castellanos has put NYCFC in front. Wasn't the best of headers, but it was enough to find the back of the net and getting that breakthrough goal. Just huge for New York City. We'll see how the Portland Timbers respond. With it for the Timbers is Jose Van Renken. Jimmy Chara. That's a nice step by Diego Chara, and a promising pass forward to Asprilla. Asprilla closed down by Callens and Cheno. Cheno prevents the corner, but it will be a throw-in. And now Asprilla getting into it with Maxime Cheno. Here's Jimmy Chara. Chara elevates one into the box, getting ahead to it was Blanco. It's now out for a Portland throw-in. Portland trying to get the equalizer now before the break. 30 seconds now from first half stoppage time. And the referee, before the throw-in's taken, just has a word with a couple of players. You can tell it's an emotional game with the stakes being so high. The winner will raise the MLS Cup trophy. As Mabiala will send one back for Zuparic. Now Steve Clark. There will be 2 additional minutes here at the end of the first half. Here's Chano. Well, it's a bad pass into the middle by Tavon Gray. And here comes Sebastian Blanco. Blanco on his right foot. And a dangerous shot. Sent just wide of the target. Goal kick for NYCFC. What an opportunity that was. Sean Johnson will take the goal kick here. Is there one last opportunity for either side before halftime? Have any of these teams won MLS Cup in the past? Not New York City, Hugo. Portland has won it once. Yeah, they beat Columbus in, I think, 2015, if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, they beat the Columbus Crew in the MLS Cup. That was their one title, but New York City have never won it. And at the edge of the box, Santiago Rodriguez called for the foul, and that might just about do it for the opening half of play. Espria settles, but wait a minute. That might not be it, although Tavon Gray's slide tackle will end the half. Tati Castellanos, who else? The goal scorer for NYCFC, the Golden Boot winner this year in MLS, has put New York City in front. And now Portland will head into the second half playing from behind on home soil. New York City fans that made the cross-country trip certainly enjoying themselves right now. The rest of the crowd, not so much, but still a long ways to go. Let's hear the thoughts of Portland manager Gio Savarese.
We expected that ball to get there. Unfortunately, we need to be a little smarter, not to allow them to pick us. That's something that we spoke, and that's how they found it in this space. I thought that was very even game. We can do some very, better things that we're going to try to do now in the second half. But I think it's been a pretty even game.
Trying to chase the game in the second half. What will your message be to the guys right now?
No, we need a little more mobility. We need to find just better spaces and be a little more aggressive to get it behind them.
Thanks very much. Good luck.
All right, there are the thoughts of Portland head coach Gio Savarese. Doesn't seem like a manager that's panicking too much, and understandably so. And yeah, Hugo, I agree. A pretty good first half in the 2021 MLS Cup, and still a long ways to go in this one. As Gio Savarese mentioned, overall, pretty even between the two sides. I'm back in a moment for the halftime report. It's New York City leading Portland 1-0. And welcome into the halftime report, everybody, on a rainy afternoon in Portland, Oregon. It's the home team, the Portland Timbers, trailing by a 0 against New York City FC. Glad to have your company. Hope you're enjoying so far the culmination of what's been a great MLS season. Who will be crowned champion? Well, New York City right now in the driver's seat after 45 minutes, a goal late in the first half from the league's leading goal scorer, Tati Castellanos, has to have NYCFC fans feeling pretty good about themselves. But obviously, you'd be silly to dismiss Portland at this stage, as Castellanos tallied his third goal of the postseason. And I thought overall, as mentioned minutes ago, it was a pretty even first half. I did think so. And why is that first goal so important? Well, NYCFC, in their case, 11 wins, 4 losses, just 3 draws in the regular season when scoring first. Of course, it's a huge advantage to get on the board first. That's what New York City were able to do late in the half, 41st minute. And just going over some of those first half highlights, it was a chippy game from the start. And that's why I think there wasn't much of a rhythm to this game until later on in the half, where both teams started to connect more passes. It wasn't as much stop and start action. And then in that 41st minute, Castellanos' goal would arrive. And yeah, as I originally said, it wasn't the best header, but that's what you do as a striker. That's what you want to do. Even if the accuracy's not there, you want to head it low, make the goalkeeper get down to try to make them react quickly to make the save, which is more difficult to do than if you had it, obviously near their waist or head, where they can get to that ball quicker. And Clark got down to it, but was just in a bit of an awkward position and couldn't get enough of a touch, and it ended up falling into his own goal. The NYCFC watch party in Manhattan is buzzing. That place absolutely exploding after the NYCFC goal. We'll see what the second half has in store. I'm back with more on the halftime report. Stick around. Welcome back into the halftime report. The rain not really letting up in the Pacific Northwest whatsoever, but that's all part of what makes this MLS Cup so special in Portland, Oregon. And let me let you guys listen in to what Don Garber, MLS commissioner, has to say. Actually,
in the city with the sport recently done, Major League Soccer announced changes to the diversity hiring process. The NFL has its Rooney Rule, and yet it's been fairly criticized in recent time. How is this one different?
Well, it starts, Sarah, with, we are the League for a New America. We want our technical staff and our front offices to reflect the diversity of our country, of our sport, and really the diversity of our player pool. So this program will allow us to develop a pipeline of talent to be able to have coaches that are reflecting those underrepresented groups, and I'm very proud of it. We're making progress. By the way, 4 women CEOs, presidents in our clubs. We have a great sort of pipeline of even more talent, and I think you're going to see it on and off the field.
Tuesday, you gave the State of the League address naturally during MLS Cup week, and I was listening to you and got the sense that the next 12 to 18 months is very important for the next phase of growth in this league. There are multiple topics to ask you, but I'm going to leave it open. What's the most pressing issue for you?
It starts, our media rights are up and we're out in the market. We're excited about what that could look like, an unprecedented package that will go to market. Second is the World Cup's coming in 22, so you'll see a change in our schedule to reflect a start that'll be earlier and will end prior to the World Cup in November. And then very, very importantly, we're adding a 30th team, and that team will be in Charlotte, and 20,000 season tickets sold. They're going to end up hopefully selling out a 70,000 seat stadium. So lots to look forward to in 2022.
We got about 15 seconds. Vegas is the last team coming in, or what?
Vegas is a front runner, Taylor, and I'm very, very focused on that. We're looking at building a stadium right off the strip. Our 30th team is really going to round out expansion in Major League Soccer. So stay tuned. First quarter of 2022, we should be announcing a 30th team.
Thanks, Don. Big things coming in 2022. Yet, Seb, I feel like the second half.
all right, that was what Don Garber had to say, commissioner of MLS. Future's looking bright for the league, and we're closing in on second half kickoff. It's next from Providence Park, so stick around. It's NYCFC leading the Portland Timbers 1-0. Stick around. Welcome back in, everybody, and thanks, Gabriel, for tuning in. Glad to see you here as we are ready to go for the start of the second half. New York City kickoff, and they're in the lead. And the light blue kits attacking from right to left. Portland, the home team, in their traditional green, going from left to right in the second half. Let's see what the final 45 minutes have in store for us, as that'll go out for a New York throw. Maxi Morales is going to leave it for Thorarensen to take. And now winning possession is Luis Mabiala. This ball popped into the air by the head of Mabiala. Now it comes out to the left wing with Thorarensen. Back to Alfredo Morales. No halftime substitutions from either Gio Savarese or Ronnie Dyla. Now Alfredo Morales. New York City will move it to the left wing. This is Thorarensen, the Icelandic international. He'll get it back from Santiago Rodriguez. Alfredo Morales again. Down the sideline. It's Medina trying to win it. And he ultimately does. But Maxi Morales has it knocked away by Claudio Bravo. Now Bravo in his own corner. Maxi Morales with the takeaway. Trying to find Medina. But now Portland back towards midfield. This is controlled by Felipe Mora. Diego Chara into Van Rankin. Van Rankin to the edge of the box, but New York City take it away. Maxi Morales. And now Medina with the switch. Thorarensen. Finding Morales. Maxi, that is. 48th minute. Second half just getting started. Inside Providence Park. James Sands dribbles into space. Sands, plenty of time here. Santi Rodriguez into the middle with Maxi Morales. And now Castellanos taken down and the referee all over it. Foul called. And it's a free kick in a position where at least a couple of New York City players are certainly capable of doing damage, particularly Valentin Castellanos, who was the one taken down here by Diego Chara. Let's see what NYCFC can do from the set piece. Steve Clark setting up his wall. It is Maxi Morales standing over it. It's over the wall and off the bar. Off the bar and out of play. Maxi Morales, certainly one of those players who's very capable of hitting a wonder strike from that kind of range. And he wasn't too far off here. Although a corner kick has been awarded. I'm looking at the replay. I don't know if Steve Clark actually got a touch there. I thought it went directly off the bar and over. That's what I thought in real time. And after the replay, my opinion didn't change on that. But here comes a chance, and the header sent across the 6-yard box. Nobody They're at the back post for NYCFC. And now quickly the other way. Here come the Timbers. But that cross has way too much pace. Goes all the way through and out for a New York City throw-in on this near side. Well, I wouldn't say that just yet, Hugo. We still got a long ways to go in this one. 40 minutes remaining in regulation, so I wouldn't be saying that just yet. I just have a feeling that Portland are going to make things interesting. I could be wrong, but I just get a sense that that's going to be the case. We'll see. Oh, and that's given away. Turned over to Maxi Morales. NYCFC trying to double the lead. James Sands into the middle for Santi Rodriguez. But that's a great takeaway. And it's Jimmy Chara. Chara forward for Asprilla. Asprilla with the Maradona move. And now out wide to the right side with Van Rankin. Van Rankin tripped up. Is that a foul? Yes, it is. And what a promising set piece this will be for the Timbers, as Callens took down Jose Van Rankin. Yeah, most certainly, Hugo. Still a lot of time to go. But hey, at the same time, you could be right. NYCFC could end up coming out on top. I just get the sense that Portland are gonna make it a game to the very end. So I'm not guaranteeing anything until the final whistle. Here's Jimmy Chara. Chara, about a head level cross, and it's in behind for a corner kick. Portland will try again from another set piece. This is an outswinger from Jimmy Chara. Headed down and pinballed through the box. Portland shouting for a handball. We play on. Left-footed effort blocked as Claudio Bravo's attempt was stifled. And now here come NYCFC the other way. Space really opening up here for Santi Rodriguez. And Rodriguez didn't look to his left. Thought Maxi Morales was making a run. He wasn't. And now it's Portland back in possession. Well, you can tell spaces are starting to open up. Portland's obviously much more attacking minded since they trail. What's good, Mango Man? Welcome into the stream. And yeah, it really was a shame what happened with New England in the playoffs. I was at that Revolution New York City game, and I don't know, man. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. It was tough. It was a tough night, as this will be a foul going out. Chano taken down. New York City will have a chance for a breather. Oh, and they're showing the replay where Portland were shouting for a handball, but I think that would be harsh because by the law, if it takes a deflection off of a body part and then strikes an arm off the same player, that is, then it shouldn't be a handball. So even though the arm was a little bit out from Chano, it did hit his knee first, and so he really couldn't react in time to tuck his arm in. So I'm perfectly fine with that not being called. Now, if it hit his arm as it did without any deflection off of a body part of Chano, then that's a different story. But since it did deflect off his knee, there was really no time to react for the New York City defender, and so really can't blame the referee for allowing play to continue there. And the flag is up, offside against NYCFC. Against Portland, excuse me, as NYCFC's Chano went down again, but didn't matter. Flag was up already. Yeah, Gabriel. I think Portland, they're playing okay. I know they're capable of playing better. I think yeah, I just think they've been a bit frustrated by um the way New York City. I mean, both teams have really been playing a bit chippy, and it's been a decent amount of stop and start action. That's what you expect in a big game like this. But Portland haven't had any real rhythm in the attacking third. They've had some chances now and again, but I feel like the more this game opens up, the more that will play to the advantage of the Timbers, because they're a dangerous team on the counter too. All it takes is one counter-attacking chance for Portland, and they'll make you pay. So yeah, Portland very much still alive. Mabiala leaves it for Bravo. Bravo sends it wide, and here is the counter-attacking soccer that I mentioned from the Timbers, although that's a great piece of defending from Chano, who comes away with the steal. About 11 minutes played now in the second half from Providence Park. On the ball is Gudmundur Thorarensen. Now James Sands slipped into Tavon Gray. Medina setting it up. And Rodriguez with not a bad effort. But Steve Clark controls that one off the hop. But yeah, as I said, this game's starting to open up a little bit more since the Timbers are having to chase the game, trailing by a goal. And in that same breath, New York City not really sitting back. There's still too much time left. So Ronnie Dyla saying, you know what? Let's try to get a second. So, and as a neutral fan myself, I'm not complaining about that. That definitely makes the game more intriguing as we close in on the hour mark. About 3 minutes from that point. And here's Maxi Morales. This could be a chance. Sends in Medina. Medina in the box. The near post strike. Saved by Clark. Golden chance for another goal for NYC. Now it's Portland the other way. Free-flowing football here. Here's the switch to Jose Van Rankin. Wouldn't that be something, Gabriel? Here's Jimmy Char across to the near post. Dealt with by Callens. But it will be another Timbers corner kick. They've had a number of set-piece opportunities. This one being another. It's Portland seeking their second ever MLS Cup. NYCFC have never won it. Seeking their very first MLS title. In New York City do well defending the corner. Maxi Morales at the other end. Santi Rodriguez. Tripped by Van Rankin. It will be a foul and a yellow card with it. That's just the second booking. No, that's the first. No, that is the second yellow card. Yes. As Van Rankin went in a bit recklessly there. Sorry, that is the first yellow card. I apologize. I thought so, because I take note of all the bookings, and yep, that is the first yellow. It took 59 minutes. Here comes the New York City free kick. It's an in-swinger from Thorarensen. Back out it comes. Maxi Morales to Thorarensen. Quality service. Chested down by Bravo and picked up by Clark. Will actually put it back on his feet. And now Portland working out of the back. And it looks like Giovanni Savarese is ready to make his first substitution in a matter of moments, as we've played an hour in the 2021 MLS Cup. Espria on the chase. And winning the throw-in was Tavon Gray. Thanks, everyone, for your company. It's been a great time covering this entire MLS postseason, except for the fact that my Revolution fell in the conference semis, but as I mentioned, don't want to bring that up. Here's a New York City throw-in, excuse me. Header flicked on by Medina. He'll let it roll out. Last touch by Bravo. And here comes that substitution, or substitutions, I should say. 2 changes here by the Timbers. And that will be it for Sebastian Blanco. He's not at 100% fitness after the injury, so he will be replaced by Moreno. Meanwhile, that's it for Fochive. Fochive coming out for Paredes. So Paredes, a player who certainly is not near 100%, or else he would have started, but is healthy enough to come off the bench here for the final half hour. And so that could be big for the Timbers with Paredes entering. New York City now with it on the right wing. Losing possession was Castellanos. This is Jimmy Char across midfield. Now Dairon Espria. Sands clipped by Jimmy Chara, or rather Diego, and that will be a free kick to NYCFC. A reminder that tomorrow it's the Madrid derby in La Liga, 3 Eastern time start for Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid. And then next Saturday at 10 a.m., it's Real Sociedad taking on Villarreal. A couple of real good matchups to look forward to. 63rd minute of play, meanwhile, here. Here's Medina. Rodriguez. Alfredo Morales finding Santi Rodriguez again. Now Thor Aronson, 64th minute approaching. It's a 1-goal lead for NYCFC. Sands opens up. And now Portland win it back. It's played ahead to Jimmy Chara and blasted out by Maxime Cheno. Van Rankin. It's a poor return pass. And NYCFC will get it back. The rain not letting up at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. Really a historic stadium, which has been around since the 1880s. Not as it's currently constructed, but it was back in the day actually a baseball stadium. It's hosted all kinds of events over the past, century and a half, I guess you could say. And it's been a great home for the Portland Timbers, a fantastic fan base. Castellanos going down here, and a free kick awarded. And things getting chippy again. As the situation is put under control. 25 minutes left plus stoppage time in regulation. New York trying to switch the point of attack. Thor Aronson out to the touchline with Rodriguez, who wins the throw-in. Maxi Morales not quite the cross he wanted, although Portland struggling to clear. This ball comes to the feet of Thor Aronson. Edge of the box, Thor Aronson to Santi Rodriguez. Pass given away by Castellanos, and he commits a foul of frustration, perhaps. Timbers awarded the free kick. Here's Larisse Mabiala. '67th minute of play. And Jimmy Chara wins the throw. Oh, that's a great backheel pass. And it could be a chance. Dangerous cross all the way through. Van Rankin settles. His shot deflected. And is this onside? No, it won't be. Asprilla is on the receiving end of that shot. And he was in an offside position as the flag ultimately went up. And it's a free kick going out. Yep, clear offside in the end. As we play 3/4 of the MLS Cup. Down the sideline, it's Santiago Rodriguez. He's tripped up, but no foul. It'll just be a throw-in for NYCFC. Yeah, I can do that, Hugo. Shout out to Hugo's sister, Maria Luisa. Shout out to Maria Luisa. Absolutely, Hugo. Yeah, that ball did strike the hand of Rodriguez as it went out of bounds. Interestingly enough, Portland's headed out of the box, and now here they come on the counter. It's Asprilla with a lot of speed. He's still going, but the last defender in Alexander Callens recovers. It's played out for a throw-in. Jimmy Chara quickly takes it. And now here's Jose Van Rankin. Played over to Paredes. This cross all the way back outside the box for Asprilla. That's blocked. Second chance delivered by Van Rankin, and it'll fall into the hands of Sean Johnson. Yeah, no problem, Hugo. Anytime, man. Steve Clark will pick this up, and now the medical staff asked to come onto the field, as it looked like we may have had a collision of heads. Yep, that was the case. 70th minute. NYCFC clinging on to a 1-goal lead here in the 2021 MLS Cup. For those of you just tuning in, it was Tati Castellanos with a goal in the 41st minute to put New York City in front. That was the lone goal so far. A header that Steve Clark maybe should have dealt with better, but on a rainy day like this, anything can happen. By the way, Portland 0 wins, 23 losses, and 5 draws in the last 3 seasons when trailing at the half in all competitions. That's remarkable. Not even a single win. What's good, Carlos? We got Carlos in the house. Carlos saying, let's go DC United. I think DC United have been on vacation for about 2 months already, maybe more, Carlos. But no, I respect the passion that you have as a DC United fan, even though they didn't have the best of seasons. That's turned over by Portland. Here's Maxi Morales. Thor Aronson. New York City can get another, then that would be perhaps the dagger. Who knows? Yeah, that's fair enough. They've been on vacation for like 5 years. Yeah. That is just about correct, I'd say, as Portland will move it through the middle. Diego Chara finding his brother Jimmy Chara. Chara closed down, and now it's Maxi Morales kicked in the shin. Foul against Portland. '72nd minute, New York City on the road in a hostile environment, trying to pull off what's been an impressive run in these playoffs with an MLS Cup trophy at the end of it all. We shall see if they can hold on. This comes wide for Thor Aronson. Now Maxi Morales. He connects with Castellanos. Medina trying to return it. Castellanos, edge of the box. Medina now settles and links up with Maxi Morales, but the final pass too far forward for Thor Aronson. Yeah, I know, Gabriel. Yeah, Tottenham have been dealing with a COVID outbreak. Yeah, they've had a number of games postponed due to that COVID outbreak. Yeah. Yeah. I know it. They've had 2 games postponed, and they might have their midweek game in the Premier League postponed too against Leicester. That remains to be seen. On the ball here is Laris Mabiala. New York City win it back. But it's sent out of play for a Portland throw. Thor Aronson has it for NYCFC. Has some space. Pass not on target, though. And here comes Asprilla. Asprilla's pass deflected and ultimately stolen. It's going to be a long chase here, but Steve Clark gets there first and actually finds Mabiala. Finds Asprilla. Asprilla to Jimmy Chara. Jimmy Chara into the box. Jimmy Chara has his shot blocked. Now it's into the air. Jimmy Chara goes down. But it was a clean challenge according to the referee. Wow. A quick scare for New York City. Do I have a car? Yeah, I do. I do have a car, Carlos. I drive a Toyota RAV4. It's like I think it's a 2008 Toyota RAV4. Yeah, it used to be my my grandpa's car. So when I when I got my license about a year ago, I decided, hey, I'm just gonna take my grandpa's old car and not have to pay for one to buy myself. So it worked out nicely, and it still functions fine. So I can't complain. It's a decent car, yeah. Portland with it on the left wing. Claudio Bravo. Chano got ahead to it. 15 minutes left until second half stoppage time. Will New York City hold on and win their first ever MLS Cup, or will Portland provide some late drama? Van Rankin gets to the inside of Rodriguez, and it turned into a shot, which Sean Johnson was able to save. I really appreciate that, James. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the kind words, James. Thanks for your company. And yeah, it's been an intriguing game thus far. The winner to raise the MLS Cup trophy. Really, Gabriel? Oh my, that's not good. Yeah, luckily so far, I've never had any problems. No, thankfully, no accidents or anything like that. I've never been pulled over so far. So that's good. I try to be the best driver possible. New York City fans who made the cross-country trip making plenty of noise right now with their side in front. This is Zuparic. Zuparic over to Paredes. The original cross blocked by Jesus Medina. Now Sands comes in, and it will be a throw into New York. The Portland fans not pleased with that decision. The Timbers fans just praying for a moment of magic late, as Gio Savarese, I'm sure, is planning to make at least a few more substitutions. That'll roll out of play. Claudio Bravo to take the throw-in. This is Moreno. Moreno going for the switch. And helping out there was Santi Rodriguez, but it will be a Timbers throw-in. Ronnie Dela set to make a change. New York City still have their starting 11 out on the field right now. That will not be the case at the next stoppage when that substitution is made by Ronnie Dela, the Norwegian head coach. So come all the way back for Sean Johnson, who hasn't really been forced to make a big save in this game. Here's Medina. Medina has space, sends one to the edge of the box, and the shot flashes across the face of goal by Castellanos. Couldn't put it on frame, though. And now here comes the substitution. Off comes Santi Rodriguez. Into the match, Tajori Shradi. Tajori Shradi appeared in the Eastern Conference Final last weekend, 6 days ago. And now a yellow card has been shown to Santi Rodriguez for time wasting. He was too slow to get off the field. And, hats off to the referee there. That's good officiating. So Santi Rodriguez ends his day with a yellow card coming off the pitch Ferran Soriano, the CEO of New York City FC, anxiously watching on, hoping his team can hold on for their first ever MLS Cup title. This ball will get all the way through, and Sean Johnson picks it up. 10 minutes left here in the second half. Superich. This is Paredes. Now out for a Portland throw. '81st minute. Is there an unexpected twist coming late? We'll see. James Sands has it for NYCFC. Sean Johnson's clearance intercepted by Paredes. Paredes wins a free kick. The Timbers getting numbers forward here. Here's the free kick. Dangerous ball in, but Felipe Mora didn't get a touch. Oh my. He'll be scratching his head about that one. Oh, wow. New York City just caught sleeping defensively. I mean, Felipe Mora was wide open here. With the outstretched right leg, just could not get a touch on it. And Van Rankin nearly turned that ball over in his own box. What an ending we should be in for, folks. Here is Diego Chara. Out wide for Asprilla. And they're going to call a handball against Dairon Asprilla. Yeah, going back to that Felipe Mora chance. Oh, man. He was so close. Could have easily been a goal. That was a beautiful delivery from Jimmy Chara. And Gio Savarese is ready to make another substitution. He's made 2 so far. Thorarensen forward to Maxi Morales. He turns it over. A foul called against Medina. Medina outraged by the decision, but referee was right there to make the call. And here comes that Portland substitution. Off comes Dairon Asprilla. And it's Nias Goda entering the match for the Timbers. Portland have it at the edge of the box. This is Diego Chara. Cross floated in. It's all the way through to Felipe Mora. His shot's blocked. And it will be out for a corner. The Portland faithful trying to get behind their team here. We've played 84 minutes. Jimmy Chara ready to deliver the outswinging corner. Headed to the edge of the box. Second chance. Felipe Mora blasted, or rather Claudio Bravo blasted that one into a teammate. Timbers still with it in the attacking third. Staying with it is Van Rankin. Van Rankin to Jimmy Chara. Chara edge of the box. Square pass. Laid back to Claudio Bravo. Bravo chipping one into the area. Out it comes. Sent back into the mix by Paredes. And now Bravo will head one to the feet of Diego Chara. Staying with it is Bravo. Bravo playing it out wide, but Tavon Gray sliding in with the key intervention. And Portland reset. It's all the way back with Steve Clark. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in the 2021 MLS Cup. This is Diego Chara. He finds Jimmy Chara. And he was not on the same page there with Moreno. Portland giving it everything they have late. But will they run out of time in the end? That's the question. Sean Johnson will punt this from one box to the other and scooped up by Steve Clark. Maxi Morales appeared to have been pushed down. Play continues. And all ball, says the referee, as Castellanos went to the ground. Jimmy Chara into Moreno. Moreno sends it wide. Here comes a cross, and the header's just over. That might have been the chance there for Felipe Mora. Mora just lurking near the penalty spot. Couldn't put it on target. Is it going to be NYCFC? I don't know, man. It might be. It just might be. NYCFC in pursuit of their first ever MLS Cup trophy. And it looks like Diego Valeri is set to come on for the Portland Timbers. He hasn't been at 100% health throughout the playoffs, but could he be the hero for Portland? Coming in late and grabbing a last-ditch equalizer. Let's see. He'll be coming on any minute now. As we close in on the 88th. Here is Claudio Bravo. Bravo can't find Moreno. And that's off of Tavon Gray for a Timbers throw-in. Valeri quickly heads to midfield. They're going to get the substitution in now. Yes, they will. Gio Savarese quickly got Valeri to midfield. Yeah, we'll see, man. I agree. I expected him to go in around the 75-minute mark. I know he's not anywhere near 100% health-wise, but let's see what he can do. He's into the match late in this one. Here's Paredes. Cross delivered towards the back post. Gray's header will go out for a Portland corner kick. The Timbers play it short. Paredes whips one into the near post. The header cleared away by Alfredo Morales. And now here come New York City. Oh, that's a great first touch. Jesus Medina could be in, but what a recovery run that is from Diego Chara. Wow. However, that's turned over by Valeri. His first touch is not a good one. And drawing the foul was Jesus Medina. We're a minute from stoppage time, and the yellow card comes out. Just an incredible hustle play from Diego Chara on that last opportunity for Medina. But it is Chara who's booked. As New York City are in no hurry to take the free kick here. They'll go short with it. Headed back down towards Maxi Morales. Now at the edge of the box, it's Medina. Castellanos going down. No foul called. And now a battle for it here, as the shot from distance is saved comfortably by Steve Clark. And the temper's really flaring now, as 4 minutes will be added on. And that will be a foul against NYCFC. And kicking it away afterwards was Jesus Medina. He's shown yellow. As we enter the final 3 minutes or so. Yeah, I noticed that, Hugo. TikTok is a sponsor for Portland. Yeah, it's kind of funny. This comes back to Steve Clark. Header by Mabiala. Portland with numbers forward. This will go out for a Portland throw, and now New York City will make a substitution. Amundsen will enter the match for the visiting side, who are clinging on to a 1-0 lead. And it's the Rarenson exiting. That'll go out for a Portland throw. Taking it is Moreno, the substitute. Just over 2 minutes left for Portland, needing a goal. And the throw-in is not a good one. It's stolen by Maxi Morales. And now Castellanos wins a New York throw. 2 minutes left. Maxi Morales down the line for Castellanos, and a New York throw-in once again. And they'll give it to New York City once more. Portland just cannot win it back. The Portland fans can barely watch at this point. Finally, the Timbers gain control. Long ball forward. It's going to fall nicely for Felipe Mora. Mora turns around. Sends it all the way out wide. Jimmy Chara to Moreno. Moreno's cross blocked, but in behind for a Portland corner. The Timbers leaving it late here. Portland's goalkeeper, Steve Clark, all the way forward into New York's box for this corner kick. Last chance indeed. Here comes the service, headed away by New York City. It's Steve Clark, the Portland goalkeeper, sending it wide and now blasted out of play. It will be a Timbers throw-in. Moreno to take. About half a minute left now, if that. Jimmy Chara. Bravo, Jimmy Chara. It's chested down. Here's a shot. Blocked. Second chance. They score! The Portland Timbers have tied the game. Felipe Mora at the death. 1-1. And it's absolute mayhem in Portland as Providence Park absolutely erupts. Unbelievable scenes in the last play of the game. The Portland Timbers have equalized. Unbelievable. And there still is life for the Timbers. Quite literally the last kick of the game. And what a moment for Felipe Mora. A composed finish on the second chance. Portland just keeping it in the box. The original shot blocked. Felipe Moore right there at the back door. Able to gain the composure to slot that one by Sean Johnson and into the far corner. Unreal. Late drama, to say the least. And the Portland Timbers have scored their first goal of the game in the 94th minute, the last minute of regulation. Absolutely remarkable. And that will just about do it. It will. Normal time is done. New York City are furious about something, and we will go to extra time in the 2021 MLS Cup. An additional 30 minutes are coming your way. NYCFC are absolutely livid right now with the official. But they will have to somehow regroup and get ready for an extra 30 minutes. Maxime Chanot is absolutely losing his mind at the moment. Wow. So much more to come, folks. An extra 30 minutes on the way from Providence Park. And Providence Park right now is absolutely buzzing. 1-1 after 90. An extra 30 are next. All right, welcome back in, everybody. Well, what a match. What an ending to regulation. And we're off to extra time in Portland. And what New York City were yelling about was they thought there was a foul on the goal. I went back and watched it, and they might have had a case, but VAR did not intervene, and so off we go. An extra 30-minute period on the way. For those of you unfamiliar with the extra time rules, it is not golden goal, I should say. No golden goal. It's 2 15-minute halves of extra time, and then if it's still tied after those 30 minutes, penalty kicks will decide the winner. And so off we go. New York City now going from left to right. Portland from right to left. And let's see what the extra 30-minute period has to offer. This is crazy indeed, everybody. I know it, guys. This is insane. Crazy game. And thank you, Badger, for tuning in over on Twitch. I really appreciate that. Let's go back to the goal. Yeah, Chano went down. Mabiala. Did he foul him? Did he not? Was there a shoulder there to the head of Chano? It's tight. It's close. I think that could have been called. I really do. But play continued, and Portland ended up scoring the equalizer. And now the Timbers have all the momentum. Paredes floating on into the box. Header away by Chano. Timbers will keep it in play. It comes to the feet of Diego Chara. Now Moreno into Jimmy Chara. Jimmy Chara playing it wide. Now into the box it comes. Paredes chipping one towards the back post. It'll be tracked down by Moreno. Jimmy Chara gets it back. And now Mora lays it back. An ambitious effort from Paredes. Sean Johnson able to react and make the stop. Why do teams play to defend a 1-0 lead, you mean, instead of attacking? I mean, that's just your natural tendency, I suppose, to sit back and try to preserve the lead you have rather than taking any risks by going forward and trying to score another. Yeah, I guess it's just your natural tendency to do that. Yeah, I know, Gabriel. It's been insane. That ending was absolutely incredible. Here's Tavon Gray. Gray back for Maxi Morales. His service falls right into the hands of Steve Clark. First half of extra time, just 3 minutes in. This is Felipe Mora, the goal scorer for Portland. Do I think that goal should have counted? Man, I'm torn on it. I'm honestly, I think that could have been a foul. I do. So I don't know if it should have counted. Looking back at multiple replays, looking back at more replays. At first, I didn't even pay attention to. I didn't even really notice it. But then once you look at it, there is an elbow there from Mabiala to Chano. It was a close one. It was a close one. I definitely I would have understand it if they hadn't if they had called a foul and hadn't allowed the goal. But hey, I also understand the flip side of it. It all happened so fast, and VAR didn't think there was enough in that to overturn the decision. So here come New York City down the left wing. No one making a run. And that cross, a wasted one from Amundsen. Another substitution for New York City. That's it for Jesus Medina, and it's Thales Magno, the teenage Brazilian who scored the winning goal against Philadelphia 6 days ago, coming on for Medina. And now here is Thales Magno, trying to combined with Castellanos couldn't do so, and that'll be out for a Portland goal kick. 95 minutes played, and what an ending we should be in for. This game has lived up to the hype. That much I can tell you. There's James Sands. Portland win it back. Magno wins the battle with Mora. And on the ball now is Amundsen. Yeah, that crowd certainly erupted. Oh, yeah. That was a roaring crowd when that goal went in the 94th at the death. Here is Tajuri Shradi. Looks like an American football tackle, but we play on. This is Claudio Bravo. Diego Chara finding Jimmy Chara. Back to his brother Diego. And now the Timbers move it all the way back to Steve Clark. That's controlled by the Timbers. That goal just completely swung the pendulum of momentum. New York City were seconds away from their first ever MLS Cup. Now will have to fight much harder for it. New York City turned it back over. Backheel pass. Could be a chance here. Spinning through, but unable to get a shot away was Niasgoda. And now the other way. Here comes Talas Magno, who went down, didn't get the foul. And now there will be a call against New York City, and Castellanos was not too pleased. Yeah, the first half was, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about in the first half. But the second half, you could tell right from the start of the second half, the game was starting to open up more. And then, of course, the ending to that second half was epic. And so far here in extra time, a lot of entertaining action, end-to-end stuff. Here's Niasgoda. It's wide for Bravo. And now Valeri able to save it on the end line, but his cross cleared away by NYCFC. It's a quick throw and taken. Bravo sending in the cross. Headed away. Edge of the box it comes, and James Sands tries to get it out of danger, but back forward comes Portland's left winger. And a foul was called. I think that was Zuparic. It was. Zuparic fouled on the play. So it's actually a center back there. I mistook Zuparic for someone else. Here's the in-swinging service, floating to the back post, and the shot's over the bar. We've played 99 minutes now. Yeah, right, Hugo. In the end, with this game going to extra time, Valeri will end up playing a substantial amount of time. What a scene. What a game at Providence Park. And you can tell New York City just a bit shaken by the way regulation ended. This is played into Tajuri Shradi. Tavon Gray's cross floats over the bar. Disappointing end result to that attacking phase for NYCFC. And we've hit the 100-minute mark in Portland. 100 minutes played, 20 to go in the 2021 MLS Cup. This is settled by Mora. He finds Jimmy Chara. Chara ahead for Niezgoda. Jimmy Chara again. Edge of the box. It's Diego Valeri. Valeri sent it over. Oh, man. He had a good look. But it's a goal kick for New York. Yeah, Valeri just didn't quite hit that one as he wanted to. Ball was always heading over. It's won by the Timbers. Valeri finding the wide open Felipe Mora. Felipe Mora into the box. Deflected pass. Ultimately sent away. And the header won in the midfield by Loris Mabiala. Moreno to Valeri. It's been all Portland here in extra time. And now it's Amundsen. He gives it back to the Timbers. 102nd minute. New York with it once more. Here's Talas Magno. Mabiala takes it away. NYCFC just not able to do anything here in extra time thus far. Yes, Hugo. Yeah, I think I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Van Rankin, I'm pretty sure you're right, did come out. Yes. I think it was actually Valeri who came in for Van Rankin, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check on that. But I think that was the attacking substitution that Gio Savarese made, because, of course, at that point in the 88th minute, they were in desperate need of a goal. And, yeah, I'll just confirm that in a moment. Yeah, it was Van Rankin who came off. Yep, it was Valeri for Van Rankin. You are right about that. Yep. Forgot to mention that because the substitution happened so quickly at the time. Portland quickly take the throw-in. Valeri combining with Niezgoda. A return pass from Felipe Mora off the mark. Portland back with it, though. And a free kick awarded to NYCFC. A minute away from stoppage time here in the first period of extra time. Portland fans having a good old time right now. And you can tell the Timbers are just feeding off the energy from the crowd in a sold-out Providence Park. Here's Talas Magno. Magno switches the point of attack. This is Tavon Gray. Over to Magno. And that was offside. The flag raised by the assistant referee on the near side. And no stoppage time here. So that's the end of the first period of extra time. Both teams will switch ends, and we will get ready for the second 15-minute period of extra time. 1-1 between the Portland Timbers and New York City FC. What a game it's been. We'll keep it right here. Just be a quick 2-minute break. I'll give you a quick recap for those of you just tuning in. Tati Castellanos with a header that found the back of the net in the 41st minute. It would be 1-0 New York for the longest time, but then in the 4th minute of second half stoppage time, quite literally the last kick of the game, Felipe Mora delivered and scored with maybe 15 seconds left, if that. That was quite literally the last chance of the game, and that would make it 1-1. And a bit of a controversial equalizer as well, as New York City were claiming that there should have been a foul. Chino furious as he thought he was elbowed by Mabiala, and it should have been a foul against the Timbers. It went uncalled. The goal counted and stood. And now we get ready for the second period of extra time at Providence Park, a rocking Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. New York City fans who made the long trip cross country, definitely the anxious ones now, how the roles have reversed in this game. It's been an epic final, to say the least. So both teams get ready to return to the pitch. And so here we go. It'll be New York City kicking off to get this second period of extra time started. And off we go. New York City attacking from right to left, Portland from left to right. We'll go to the 120th minute. If it's still tied after that, penalty kicks will decide the winner. See if New York City can get any sort of momentum back on their side in the final 15. That pass is cut off, and now it's Teles Magno on the ball, the Brazilian. Off of Moreno for a New York City throw-in. Yeah, that is true, Gabriel. Yeah, as a Vancouver fan, I'm sure you don't really like Portland because that is a Cascadia rivalry. Timbers looking to clear. This is Diego Valeri. Valeri with a beautiful turn, trying to chip one into the box for the oncoming runner, but unable to execute as it's picked up by Johnson. See the idea from Valeri. Now it's a Munson on the ball for NYCFC. Knocked out of play by Claudio Bravo. Tajori Shradi will leave this for a teammate to take the throw-in. Mabiala back to the ball. I'll go out for a Timbers throw. Diego Chara. Now Moreno. Moreno. Back for Laris Mabiala. That's given away by the Timbers. Oh, and the pass just behind Amundsen. New York just can't seem to maintain possession. About a dozen minutes now left in extra time. Into the middle it comes. Jimmy Chara gets it back from Valeri. And now one back by NYCFC. Here's Tajori Shradi. Shradi in a foot race. And that will be a foul against him as he wrapped up Diego Chara. Portland will opt for the switch. Here's Goda's pass. Turned over. This is Maxi Morales passing into space. 110th minute of play now. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of the broadcast today. What a match. On the ball now is Amundsen. James Sands. The crowd at Providence Park, just electric. New York City go all the way back to Sean Johnson. Maxi Morales. That ball will end up at the feet of Amundsen. And now Maxi Morales to Alfredo Morales. NYCFC finally with a decent spell of possession, but not really able to do much with it thus far. Opening up is James Sands. Maxi Morales for Talas Magno. And now into space, here comes a strike from Gray. Getting both hands to it was Clark. The rebound cleared out by Portland. And now a counter-attacking chance, perhaps. Niasgoda into the middle. Advantage played by the referee. It's a 3-on-2. Valeri sends it in. And what a strike, but an even better stop. And now the flag is raised as Paredes was denied by Johnson, but it was offside anyways. Wow. Yeah, Portland just such a dangerous team on the counter, showing why once more here. Big time save from Johnson, who, of course, in that moment had no idea that Paredes was indeed offside when receiving that pass. Here's Amundsen finding Alfredo Morales. 113th minute, about 7 to go. until we head to penalty kicks if the score remains as is. Here comes the switch. Alfredo Morales on the ball. Amundsen back to Morales. And is that a handball? I think it might have been. There is a nearby apartment right outside of Providence Park where people living there do have a clear view of the field, and some of them are on top of the apartment right now tuning in. Some are also, as Hugo says, getting some exercise in on the stationary bike while watching. It's cool to see as this cross will go out of bounds for a New York goal kick. Six minutes to play in extra time. Opening up is Maxi Morales. He sends it wide. And now it's played over to Amundsen. Amundsen, dangerous service. Trying to find Castellanos. It will roll out for a New York corner. Important, we'll have to be real careful here defending the set piece. Maxi Morales ready to deliver. It's an outswinging ball in and a nice leaping header away by Mabiala. Second chance skied over the bar by Tavon Gray. The 116th minute, folks. Is there more drama to come? I'm sure there is. Whether that's at the end of extra time or in penalties, that remains to be seen. What a day. Here's Valeri. And now Moreno. Shot from far out. Saved by Johnson. It's a good first touch by Amundsen. Magno trying to get it back to Amundsen. Could not do so. Moreno with it for Portland. All the way back to Steve Clark. Now James Sands for New York City. We'll see. We'll see, Gabriel. It's a possibility. Trust me, I was in attendance to see the Revolution tie the game up against New York City in the 118th minute just to lose the game on penalties. So Here's Maxi Morales. Alexander Callens. Edge of the box. Staying with it here is Amundsen. 118th minute. 2 left until penalty kicks, possibly. Here's Alfredo Morales. To Jory Shradi. This is Tavon Gray. And all of a sudden, in the second period of extra time, it's been New York City with a majority of the possession. Over it comes to Maxi Morales. Portland settle. Moreno, though, gives it away right through the middle. Alfredo Morales into Maxi Morales. Left wing, he'll cross. Sent all the way through. And now to Jory Shradi, trying to get a shot in, but it's great work by Jimmy Chara, who ultimately is fouled. Free kick to the Timbers as they survive a scare. And we're a minute away from the 120-minute mark. Chano steps in. Here's Talas Magno. Magno, very patient here. Finding Amundsen out wide. Amundsen lost it. Now cleared to midfield. Portland wanted a foul, didn't get the call. Seconds away from the 120-minute mark. This is Magno. Maxi Morales. Cross all the way through. But Jimmy Chara with the key intervention and no additional time here in the second period of extra time. And after 120 minutes, these teams still level. And we will go to penalty kicks in the 2021 MLS Cup. A penalty shootout on the way at Providence Park to decide who are the 2021 MLS Cup champions. Wow. What a game, folks. It's been a roller coaster ride. And Portland just with an absolute miracle goal at the end of regulation. I mean, it seemed like the Timbers had lost hope towards the end of regulation. Then that equalizer comes, and there has just ever since then been a renewed sense of energy at Providence Park, and now it's anyone's game as we head to penalty kicks. Well, let's see who will come out victorious. Obviously, penalty kicks most times than not, I should say. Basically a coin flip. You never know how they'll pan out as the coin toss takes place between the two captains to determine at which end the penalty kicks will take place and who will take the first penalty kick in each round. And we'll also see what order is selected by both Gio Savarese and Ronnie Dyla for their respective teams. In this penalty kick shootout, remember, it's 5 rounds. And then if still tied after that, each round is sudden death. That's what's at stake here. And I'd agree, Hugo. Sean Johnson, the better goalie between the two. You know, I don't want to take anything away from Steve Clark, but Johnson is a better goalkeeper. But we'll see. We'll see how it rolls out here in penalty kicks. This is going to be very intriguing. And yeah, I know, Gabriel. Imagine what it would be like to be a fan of one of these teams. I couldn't really imagine how much stress that would entail. All right, so after extra time, we go to penalties as the teams get set to go. And the Portland fans trying to use that home field advantage to their full advantage here in PKs. Two goalkeepers, Sean Johnson and Steve Clark, embrace as the referee just explains all of the rules to them so they're clear on it. And it will be New York City FC shooting first here in the penalty kick shootout. All right, the scoreboard I will be putting up right now will be the score of the penalty kicks. So not to confuse anybody, it was 1-1 after 120 minutes. And now I will have the penalty kick score here on the stream. All right, it is Tati Castellanos, the Golden Boot winner and the goal scorer for New York City today, I should say. Shooting first for NYCFC. Will he deliver the first kick of the shootout? Castellanos steps up and he scores. Well, it wasn't really the best of shots. In fact, it was definitely reachable for Steve Clark, but he just moved over to his left a little bit before he got back to his right, and it was too late at that point. Maybe Castellanos a bit fortunate that went in, because it wasn't the best of takes, but he'll take it anyway. All right, Portland now ready for their first kick. It's Felipe Mora, the goal scorer for Portland. Saved by Johnson. Sean Johnson dove to his right, guessed the right way, and made the stop. And boy, is that huge to start the penalty kick shootout. That is big time. He got a right fist to it. 1-0 New York City after one round. Felipe Mora denied at the spot. And now to the second round we go. And it's Alfredo Morales for NYCFC. Denied! Steve Clark dives to his left and answers the call. Wow. Well, after a savable shot on the first kick, Steve Clark makes amends here. Diving to his left side, full extension to deny Alfredo Morales. And now Portland with a chance to equalize. What's good, Adam? It's Diego Valeri. Another save. Sean Johnson's done it again. The same exact spot, and Portland are 0 for 2 so far. Wow, unbelievable. New York City fired up after that. Sean Johnson, big time so far in penalty kicks. 1-0 New York City after 2 rounds. And now it's Maxi Morales for NYCFC. Maxi Morales scores. Composed as you like. Clark guessed the wrong way. Morales sending it into the right corner. And it's 2-0 New York. Now Portland in desperate need of their first goal. It'll be their third try And up steps Moreno. Santiago Moreno with a ton of pressure on him for the Timbers. Can he convert? Yes! Moreno right into the bottom left corner. That's a very, very good finish. And finally, Portland are on the board here in penalty kicks. That's a big-time conversion. 2-1, New York City through 3 rounds. And now we head to the 4th round. And it will be the teenage Brazilian, Thales Magno, stepping up in the 4th round. Magno slips it by. Oh, man, Steve Clark was close, but Magno's goal restores the 2-goal lead for New York City. Oh, man, another savable shot. Second one for Steve Clark that he's come close to, but hasn't been able to keep out. And now Portland, once again, with a bunch of pressure on them. And the Timbers need to score. New York City will win it. Here is the strike and a fine finish by Portland's Christian Paredes. Paredes keeps them alive and makes it 3-2 New York after 4 rounds. Wow. Cheeky finish. Didn't really pick a corner entirely. But Paredes had all the confidence in the world. But now New York City can win it. Alexander Callens, the Peruvian, will try to bring New York City home their first ever MLS Cup title. Can he do it? The left-footed player will step up for NYCFC. He scores! And New York City FC are your 2021 MLS Cup champions. A huge moment in the history of the club as New York City FC, for the first time ever, win the MLS Cup. And back home in Manhattan, the fans going crazy at the NYCFC watch party. And the celebrations will be lasting more than just the next couple days. What a moment for NYCFC as they defeat the Portland Timbers in a penalty kick shootout in Portland. A devastating loss for the Timbers as they fall just short. But credit to NYCFC, who overcame some adversity after the Timbers equalized late in regulation and were able to get the job done. What a moment. And the Portland Timbers fans who were on hand at Providence Park, just shocked, at a loss for words. New York City FC, for the second time this postseason, win on penalty kicks. And Ronnie Dyla's side has done it. The 4 seed from the Eastern Conference has won it all. And the emotions overtaking the NYCFC players as they just let it all sink in. And how about Alexander Callens on the game-winning penalty kick? He just blasted that shot into the back of the net. An absolute cannon off his foot. You can see what it means for Ronnie Dyla as well. Pure emotion taking over after that winning penalty kick. New York City have done it, folks. What a moment for the club. And in Portland's very first MLS Cup on home soil. They come up just short, much to the devastation of all the fans on hand. Yep, they needed to do it the hard way indeed. But NYCFC have got the job done. Wow. What a match. This game was just epic. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Badger. You know, the penalties weren't the best. But yeah, they went in, and that's all that matters in the end. Yeah, they weren't, you know, perfect penalties by any means from New York City. In fact, a number of them could have been saved that weren't. But hey, they went in, and that's all that counts, as you say, man. Everything will be all right, Adam. But yeah, you got to give credit to New York City when all is said and done, because it's you can't imagine how difficult it is when you're on the cusp of winning it all, and then you allow a goal in the last second of the game, as New York City did, and then to recover from that, bounce back from that, and play a full 30 minutes of extra time, and force penalty kicks, the game to go penalty kicks, and then come out victorious in penalty kicks. That's just it says a lot about this team, no doubt about it. How does it feel as a Revs fan to see NYCFC win? I mean, I did not want to see them win, Badger, but hey, no, it is what it is. It is what it is. What's good, Alvaro, welcome into the stream, man. He says, Viva el Peru, Collins campeón. Yep, the Peruvian, Alexander Collins, converts the game-winning penalty, and NYCFC win the penalty kick shootout 4-2. All right, that will do it for my broadcast, everybody, as I am Samuel Reese saying so long, everybody. It's been a pleasure calling the MLS Cup playoffs this season. New York City FC are your 2021 champions, folks. 4-2. They win on the penalty kick shootout after a 1-1 draw after 120 minutes. Bye for now, everybody. NYCFC defeat the Portland Timbers in the 2021 MLS Cup.